Let us start. I hope you enjoy. Now, let us start with the performance of diesel engine itself. The performance of diesel engine means what is the power you are getting out of it and what you are supposed to do the efficiency. What is the efficiency itself? Means how much input we will convert it into the output during the diesel engine cycle. There are various factors depends on it, of the say piston speed, gas fuel ratio, compression ratio, etc. Air inlet pressure and temperature are variable. So there are so many parameters. Which we can, over which was performance of this of a particular diesel engine is responsible. So a series of tests are generally carried out on the engine to determine the engine performance. Engine performance characteristics means what is the indicated power and what is the brake power, what is the frictional power, and what is the mechanical efficiency, what is the thermal efficiency, fuel consumption, and also specific fuel consumption. Means to know the performance of any engine other than diesel engine itself, we have to know the indicated power. What is the power we are showing? We are showing, and what is the brake power? What is the power actually we are giving the output? What is the power output exactly? Indicated power and brake power. There is also a difference in there. The frictional power means how much you are losing due to friction among different elements. As so many relative moving elements are there. And what is the mechanical efficiency? That is the brake power divided by indicated power. What is the thermal efficiency? What type of what will be the maximum input and in terms of your fuel, and what is the desired output we are supposed to desire, and what is exactly you are getting, the ratio between them. Then fuel consumption and also specific fuel consumption, etc. The indicated mean, what is the indicated mean effective pressure itself? In order to determine the power determined by the engine, well, see, the indicated diagram of the engine should be available. From the area of the indicated diagram, it is possible to get an average gas pressure, which while acting on piston throughout one stroke, which account for the network done. This pressure is indicated mean effective pressure, means how much pressure you are effective to you. So from we need the indicated diagram of the engine, and you see the area of the indicator diagram means to find an average gas pressure and pressure that were acting on piston. What is the average gas pressure? We are acting on the piston itself. Ring active vector is available, and through one particular stroke is the account for the network done. This pressure is different in effective pressure. It's only how much pressure you are created to complete one stroke. One more gas pressure are created by complete one stroke. That is the mean effective pressure. Indicated horsepower means the engine can be calculated as follows. In the horsepower, PM, N, L, A, N, N, divided by 400 K, which means PM is mean effective pressure, L, PM, mean effective pressure, L, length of the stroke, A, piston area, N, speed in RPM, a number of cylinders, K1 for 2 engines, and for 4, K is equal to 2. That is a factor. So this is 4,100 is for the conversion factor from watt to horsepower itself. So what is the mean effective pressure, lower mean effective pressure, and what is the length, area, RPM, and number of cylinders of the engine? Means what is the amount of gas we are exhausting per stroke in the for the machine per minute in the machine itself, and what is the volume of gas we are generating or using per minute of the system, and K is factors for two-stroke engine as well as for four-stroke engine itself. Now, what is the brake horsepower? Brake horsepower is defined as the net power available at the crankshaft itself. It is found by measuring the output torque with a dynamometer. What is the power actually you are getting out of the crankshaft of your diesel engine? What you are getting exactly? This is found by measuring the output torque with dynamometer. So 2 pi and T divided by 4500. While T is the torque in kg meter and speed in revolution per unit revolution per unit time. Then the difference between IP and BP is called FHP, means the utilized overcoming the frictional resistance of rotating and sliding part of the gear. Means indicative effective pressure minus a brake horsepower, indicative horsepower divided by minus by brake horsepower gives us the frictional resistance and the of rotating and sliding power itself. Indicated thermal efficiency. It is indicated horsepower. No, indicated horsepower, no mean effective pressure. Acha, indicated thermal efficiency, it is defined as the rate of indicated work of thermal efficiency. Indicated means it's the ratio of indicated work to thermal input. What is the work output? Not brake output, but indicated work output. And what is the thermal input itself, which means in indicated horsepower multiplied by 4500, which is we are converting into watt, divided by W, weight of the fuel supplied in kg per minute, and CV, calorific value of fuel in kilocalorie per kg itself. This joules equivalent to 427. So weight of the fuel, calorific value of fuel, and equivalent value of fuel joule. So weight of the fuel in kg, calorific value of fuel in kilocalorie means converted into kilocalorie, and multiplied by Z is equivalent value factor equivalent to joule out. If we convert it to joule, we have to multiply it by 2 for 227 itself. Brake thermal efficiency is defined as the ratio of brake output to thermal input. Means here we are using the same thing except for indicated effective pressure. What is exactly the output we are getting from the machine itself divided by the amount of input which we are generating due to the burning of the fuel itself. Thus, the mechanical efficiency is the ratio of brake horsepower to indicated horsepower. That's the condition itself. Now, the fuel system of diesel power engine. The fuel is delivered to the plant. That is the one fuel cell, rail injection, distributed fuel system, diesel power plant, lubrication system. Wet pump, wet something, fuel pressure, not try lubricant. What is the fuel efficiency of fuel system of diesel power? Just 1 second. What is that? Let us go for the fuel injection system itself. Now, the fuel is delivered to the plant by the railway track car, by truck or by huge large tank, by barge tanker and stored in the bulk storage situated outside for the sake of safety. From the main fuel tank, the fuel oil is transferred to the daily consumption tank by transfer pump through a filter. So we are getting the fuel from different type of fuel container. So you can have the container from train, you can have the container from roadways, and you have to transfer that loaded container to your fuel tank, which is situated outside your factory premises to a considerable distance, so that if there is any burning, any explosion, any problem goes on, more or less the people working in the company state. Now, from the fuel tank situated outside the plant, what we are doing, we have to transfer the daily consumption by transfer pump itself through a filter itself. So this is the unloading pump, and from here it is the surrounding well, full well connection, etc. Then fuel system, the fuel valve and strainer itself. Now from here it is the unloading pump from the valve side. It goes into the main fuel reservoir itself, and there is a filter for filtering the pump itself. The capacity of the daily consumption should be at least 8 hours requirement of the plant. So we should have the capacity to run 8 hours for the plant itself. This plant is located either above the engine level, so that the fuel flows by gravity or to the injection pump, or to below the engine level, so as the fuel value is delivered by injection pump by a transfer pump driven from the engine shaft. So there are two alternatives. We can place the fuel in a higher places, maybe in a tank, over a tank itself, where the fuel will move just opening the valve through a filter and go to the engine itself, or we have to keep it in the floor level or below the level, maybe underground even, for the safety. And from there it will pump the fuel to the main reservoir of the power plant by means of a pump, which is driven in fact by means of the fuel itself, by means of the diesel engine itself. Injection pump and by transfer pump on the engine shaft. Now, fuel connection normally used when tank car sliding or road trackway is above the tank level. When tank car side road trackway is there, it is below the tank level, and unloading pump is also used. So, in order to transfer fuel from tank car to his storage tank. So, there is maybe an unloading car is also used in case the fuel tank is sliding or track roadway is above the load tank level. Now, the 5 essential function of fuel tank is here to develop oil from the storage to the fuel injector, to develop oil from the storage to the fuel injector, to rise the fuel pressure to the level required to the automation, to measure and control the amount of fuel admitted in each cycle, and to control time of injection. And spray fuel into the cylinder to atomize form through mixing and burning. So, what is the fuel injection system should have? The deliver oil from the storage to the fuel injector itself. Fuel injector to rise the fuel pressure to the level required for automation effort. The measure and control the amount of fuel admitted in each cycle, and control time of injection itself. The spray fuel into the cylinder is atomized form or through mixing and burning itself. The above functions can be achieved in a variety of ways. The following are the systems which are usual on power station results: the common rail, individual pump injection distributors. So, first of all, what we have to do, just 1 second. What we are expecting from the fuel pump is like this. First of all, of course, you have to deliver the fuel pressure to the level required for automation. That is the preliminary requirement is here. But the next we have to measure, control the amount of fuel. So how much fuel is required, you have to measure, and you have to control according to your requirement. Then control the time of injection. When you have to inject, when you have to stop the injection should be carried out by the injection system itself. This is as per requirement of your power plant. To spray fuel in a level into the cylinder in atomized form for thorough mixing and hardening. The fuel should be thoroughly mixed in the air and trapped in the cylinder itself, center of your piston itself, and should be in the atomized form. Means fuel should be in the form of particles, atomized particles, which can be injected to the air itself. Now, the common rail. Individual pump, how can you do it? There are the three systems, a common rail system, individual pump injection system, or distributor system. What is the common rail system? It is even here, 8.4. It supports a pump which feeds the pressure regulator. This is the pressure pump here, which is we have a built-in pressure regulator. Means we have a regulator itself which can particularly regulate the flow of the system itself. That is just pumping to maintain the desired injection pressure. And this built-in pressure regulation is mainly adjusting the pumping rate. The function of the fuel relief and the timing valve is to regulate function of the fuel relief valve, and timing valve is to regulate the injection amount. If pressure relief and timing valve is also required, this is the pressure relief valve and timing valve. Yes, from here, it is sent to this accumulator, and from here, it is going to the timing valve itself. It is also another process of maintaining the pressure, and if it is more than requirement, we have to relieve it to a certain extent, and the timing of injection is also we have to apply here itself. Now, there is a spring-loaded spray valve, then spring-loaded safety valve. The spray valve acts merely as a check itself. Well, it is also another option. Here you have to regulate, here you have to pressure relief, you have to test the timing, then you have to check. All these things are required to maintain accurate injection of the accurate injection and in amount and in accurate injection in time. When the injection valve fits to the admit high pressure fluid to spray valve, it rises against the spring. When the injection valve, that will be then the injection valve is sufficient to run the pressure, then the admit high pressure full to spray valve is it rises to use against the spring. When pressure is vented to the atmosphere, spring starts into the valve itself. Achha. Next is the individual valve section injection. In the system, each fuel nozzle is connected to a separate injection pump. The pump itself does measuring the fuel discharge and control of the injection timing. The delivery value in the nozzle is actuated by fuel oil pressure itself. Just a second. The system here, individual each fuel nozzle is connected to separate injection valve itself, and the pump itself does the measuring the fuel and control the injection timing. The delivery valve nozzle is actuated by fuel air pressure itself. So we have separate injection valve for each cylinder. 1, 2, 3, 4. There is 4 cylinder. There is 4 injection valves. There is a controller connecting rod, the camshaft, everything is this injection pump, and this is the injection pump. So from here it is injected to the cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And so that you can stop, if necessary, you can stop 1 or 2 nozzles if you don't get that amount of power system. Distributor system. This system is shown here. Here, what we are meaning that the fuel is metered at a central point. That is, the pump is that pressurized and meters in the fuel and times of the injections. Meters into the fuel and time of the injection itself. From here, fuel is distributed to cylinder in correct pressure by an operated poppet valve. We open to admit fuel and injection. The system is this here. What is this? This is the output of the fuel. In this is using separate injection system for different separate cylinders itself. And there is a distribution block, and metering and pump is here, control rod and cam, the primary pump itself. So from the primary pump, it is goes to the metering system and pressure system, and then goes to the distributor block itself. Then from the distributor block, it goes to the nozzle and nozzle and it's there it is sprayed according to the requirement. Actually, this is similar to injection pump, where but here need a distribution block early, so not it is not directly ejected from the pump itself. So three type of distributor system is here. We are told that one is common rail. There, what is common rail distribution? There is only one distributor there. It is given to the all cylinder itself at a time, and here we have so many controlling systems, means control pressure pump, pump driven shaft trimmed by dry tank, next result refer release system, spring roller spray valve, etc. Three type of controlling and actuation system is used here. But in the individual pump section, we are not using so many control, but we are injecting the fuel through different nozzles through in different timing, maybe is possible through different nozzles in different cylinder itself. And that injection pump is here and it is driven by the bottom pump, the bottom shaft itself. A distribution system is more or less like injection system, individual pump injection system, but it is sends the pump the distributor plug fast. From there, it is go through the injection nozzles itself. So everything has different applications and different requirements and different likes and dislikes system. Then let us go through the lubrication system. This is the pumping system of fuel, but lubrication is absolutely essential because friction loss in the different relative movement of different portion of the pump is rapidly losing our efficiency of losing itself. So this frictional forces by wear and tear of the rubbing part of the engine, and therefore the life of engine is reduced. So the rubbing creates the rubbing friction, and we have unless we have control over the friction, it will get variable pumps and variable power plant system rejected due to there is no lubrication is available. That some substance should be introduced between the rubbing surface in order to decrease the frictional force between them. So first we are required some substance should be introduced in between the rubbing surface in order to decrease the frictional area. But between them, such abscess is required is called lubricant. So we should give certain substance, whatever it may be, between the rubbing surface of in order between the rubbing surface between the surfaces which has relative motion to each other. The frictional force thus will reduce the frictional force itself. And lubricant prevents metal to metal contact, so we can say lubrication is the admission of oil between two surfaces having relative motion itself. The main function of lubricant is to reduce the friction and wear between the parts. But what is the main function? There are so many functions you see. First, reduce the friction and wear between the mating part, friction and wear between the parts having relative motion, and by minimize the force of friction ensures a smooth running of part. And a space, see the space adjoining the surface such as piston ring and cylinder layer. By using these piston rings, we will see the space between the cylinder pressure as per the requirement. To clean the surface by cutting away the carbon and metal particles causing wear. All metal particles and other things are being cleared by the lubrication oil pressure. They absorb shock within hearing and other parts and continuous reduced noise. So certain type of noise reduction is there for that is mainly the rubbing noise. To cool the surface by cutting away heat generated due to friction. The surface is reduced, surface temperature is reduced considerably by using proper oil, which takes away the frictional force and heat generated from the frictional force itself. The piston rings to go. It helps the piston ring to seal the gases in the cylinder itself. It improves the ring heat generated due to friction and keeps the part cool. Now, so one is, first of all, you have to reduce the wear and tear. You have to reduce the temperature by carrying away the heat due to friction itself. If there is any shock in the bearing, it will happen as a buffer shock, and it cools the surface so that noise that piston light in the piston goes up, helps the piston ring to shift the gas and removes all heat generated. 3 points: friction, heat generated taking away, and to stop the piston ring to seal the gases in the cylinder. Just 1 second. But the various of the lubricated pavements are cylinder valves, engine liquefaction, mainly cylinder valve and piston, the main part, crankshaft bearing, piston rings, and cylinder valves. So big end bearings and crankspans, small end bearing and gazapin, main bearing cams and bearing valve socket and guides, timing gear system, camshaft and camshaft bearing, that is 5 mechanism and rocker arms. So what is the main point of bearings? First of all, cylinder valve cam, main crankshaft bearing, and piston rings and cylinder valve. This is the most important part of lubrication. Then other bearings like gazapin bearings, main bearing cams, bearing valve pockets, timing gears, crankshaft, camshaft, etc., and valve mechanism, rotor valve, etc. Where there is a movement, there needs to require a lubricant to reduce the increase the light, to reduce the sound, and to reduce the rubbing between the mating surfaces. But a good lubricant should have the following properties. It should not change its state with changing temperature itself. So, if the changing temperature should not react among themselves and creates a different type of fluid. It should maintain a constant and continuous stream among the mating parts. It should have high pressure heads, and it can remove maximum amount of heat. It should be free from corrosive acids. The lubricant should be purified before it enters the engine. It should be free from dust, moisture, marital dust, fetal dust, etc. The lubricating of consumed air of lubricated oil is consumed. Near 91% of the fuel compound consumption. The lubricating oil gets heated within the peak time of the beer should be cooled before circulation. So what we are supposed to do is change of state should not change. The during liquid should go to gaseous or get to solid itself. There should have the continuous stream between the surface itself. Maintain it and use high specific heat so that it can have remove the maximum amount of heat from the cylinder itself. It should be free from corrosive acid. There should not be acid there. And it should be free from dust, moisture, metallic chip, lubricating oil, etc. Because this will go to the cylinder surface and piston surface in between, and that will be scratched. The lubricating oil consumed is nearly 1% of the fuel consumption. The lubricating oil gets heated because of friction of moving parts and should be cooled before circulation itself. The cooling water used in the engine may be used for cooling the lubricants. Nearly 22.5% of heat of fuel is dissipated at here, which is removed by the lubricating oil. Lubricating oil is around 2.5% of fuel is dissipated. The various lubricants used in engines are of 3 types. The liquid lubricants are wet sum lubrication system, solid lubricant, dry sum lubrication, semi-solid lubricants, or mixed lubrication system itself. Yeah, it's an issue. So what is the different type of lubricants we are supposed to be? In wet form system, we know this this is a process where large comparative sum, oil sum are at the basis of tank chamber itself, from which the rail oil is shown drawn by low pressure oil pump and delivered to the various parts. Oil then gradually turns back to the sump. The splash system, semi-pressure system, both are available here. Next, full pressure system. SAM system, some splash system, semi-pressure system, and full pressure system. And solid liquidants are dye, some lubricant system here. The oil from the sump is carried to a separate storage tank outside the cylinder block. The oil from the sump is pumped by means of the sump pump to the oil, and damped lubrication system is generally allocated for high capacity engines. Means this is for two-stroke diesel engine system. Most of the engines are crank charged. That is the empty crankcase compression, and thus are not suitable for crankcase lubrication. These engines are lubricated by about 2 to 3% lubricating oil of the fuel pump. If oil and fuel mixture is introduced into the carburetor, the gasoline is vaporized. The oil in the form of mist goes via the crankcase, and the oil then empties the crank washes and connecting rod bearing, and rest of the oil that passes on the cylinder being charged and scavenging pump. Now, what is the air stick and admission system? Really, a large diesel engine occurs around 0.076 of air per minute or per kilowatt of power required. I mean this power development. So 0.114 meter cube per kilowatt power. So fresh air being drawn through pipes, ducts, and filters. Supports of the filter is to catch it is maybe of dye and oil bath itself. The filter should be cleaned periodically. Electronic propagation, electrostatic propagated files can also be used here. Oil impingement type of consists of a frame filled with metal shoving. The oil impingement filter consists of a frame fitted with metal shaving, which are coated with a special oil so that it's like this, that is the system. And now what we are saying that, first of all, this is the requirement of wear. Next, we need to refer the pressure always through pipe, ducts, or filters, which should be brought in from the pipe and should be through filters. Filter is to catch air, borne dirt, as it otherwise causes wear in the engine. Filter may be of dry and oil bath. Filter clean periodically itself. Electrostatic filter of fillers can also be used where oil impingement type filter consists of frame caused by metal shaving which are coated with a special wax, so that the air passes through the system filled with metal shaving which are coated with the spray wire. So that the air is passing through the frame and being broken up into a cylinder, number of small filaments comes into contact with the oil itself. The type of filter made of cloth, felt, ash woods, etc. In case of oil, both type of filter, the air is swept over through a full of oil, and the particle of dust becomes coated, and lightweight steel bulb is the material for intake down. Since the noise may be transmitted back to the outside air via the air intake, a silencer is needed in between the engine and the intake system. Yes, yes. There should be minimum pressure in the air intake system, otherwise specific fuel consumption will increase and the engine capacity reduced to a certain. So since the noise may be transmitted back to the outside air via the air intake, so silencer is filled between the intake and engine and the intake system. Noise still is transmitted back to the outside air. Well, so there should be a silencer is used, and there should be a minimum pressure loss in the air intake system, otherwise specific fuel consumption will go up. Now, the air intake system conveys fresh air through pipes or ducts to air intake manifold or four-stroke engine itself, scavenging some needed inlet of a two-stroke engine. Instead, supercharger needs of a supercharged engine. The intake may be located very near the ground and outside the plant building, in the building roof, on the building roof, inside the engine room. Air intake may be located very near the ground and outside the plant itself, on the building roof and on the building roof, in the building roof or on the building room itself, inside the engine room. Now, following precautions also be made. Following precautions should also be taken while constructing a suitable air intake system. They do not locate their air intake inside the engine room. Do not locate the air intakes inside the engine room. Do not take air from a confined place. Otherwise, serious vibration problems can occur due to air pulsation. Do not use air intake line too small a diameter, which is too long. Otherwise, engine starvation might work. Just 1 second. Now, following precautions should be taken. And now, do not intake air. Do not take air from the confined space, and otherwise serious vibration problems may occur in the air pollution. Do not use air intake line with too small a diameter or is too long. Otherwise, engine starvation may occur. So, do not install air intake filters in an inaccessible condition. Do not locate the air intake filter close to the roof of the engine. So, since serious vibration of the roof may occur since processing of filters. So, what we are saying, air intake should be from the outside of the engine room, not from the engine room itself. Never take it from confined room. We must take from the atmosphere itself, because various serious vibration problems can occur due to air pulsation, because we are using the rooms of the small instead. Do not use air line with too small a diameter or too long, but because it will not get the ensure the right supply and engine starvation may occur. Do not install air intake filter in an inaccessible location because we have to clean the filter continuously or regularly, or because it should be accessible location. Do not intake air intake close to the roof of the engine room. Since serious vibration in the roof may cause the pulsating airflow through the filters. If you place it too close to the roof, this due to drawing away, roof will be, cause maximum vibration. So that due to pulsating airflow through the filter itself. Okay. So much for this today. I am finishing. Nobody came. So let me stop here.